Understandable English podcast.
Learn English the easy way.
I have officially reached a new level of self-sabotage, and I am honestly just impressed with myself at this point. I have achieved the impossible.
Good morning, Bryan. Welcome to the Understandable English podcast. I can already hear the chaos in your voice. Are we analyzing another one of your brilliant life decisions today?
We absolutely are. Jessica, I need you to understand that I am a very busy person. I am doing things all the time. I am moving. I am planning. My brain is constantly working. But somehow at the end of the day, literally nothing is done.
That sounds like a magic trick. You are running as fast as you can, but you are just running fast in a circle. You never actually move forward. What did you do this time?
Okay, so, I have been feeling a little overwhelmed lately with work and daily life. So I decided I needed to get organized. I thought, if I just have the right system, I will become a perfect, highly productive adult. So I went to the stationery store.
Oh no, the stationery store is a dangerous place for you. I know exactly how this story goes.
B. It is a trap, but a beautiful trap. You walk in and it smells like fresh paper and expensive leather. I walked down the aisle and I saw them. The planners. I didn't just buy one, Jessica. I bought 4 different planners.
4? Why on earth does one human being need 4 planners? Are you managing a small country?
I had a vision. I bought a blue one for my daily tasks, a black one for my weekly goals, a green one for my financial planning, and a red one just for fitness tracking. I spent $80 on paper, and then, obviously, I needed the right pens. You cannot write in a beautiful new planner with a cheap pen from the bank.
Of course not. That would ruin the aesthetic of your new, highly productive life.
Exactly. So I bought a pack of 15 ultra-fine gel pens. They were color-coded to match the planners. I went home, cleared off my entire dining table, and I spent 3 hours organizing this system. I was drawing little boxes, making perfect bullet points, testing the ink on a separate piece of paper so it wouldn't bleed through the pages. I completely went down a rabbit hole organizing my pens.
I am picturing you sitting at your table, completely surrounded by paper, feeling like an absolute genius.
I felt so powerful. I felt like a CEO. I was sweating a little bit because I was working so hard. I spent my whole Saturday afternoon doing this. And then at 5 o'clock, I got an automatic email on my phone.
Let me guess. It was a reminder about something you completely forgot to do while you were drawing little boxes.
It was a final notice from the electricity company. My bill was 2 weeks late, and they were threatening to turn off my power. I was sitting there with $80 worth of financial planners, and I hadn't actually paid the electricity bill. I put off paying the bill for so long because I was too busy planning how to pay it.
That is the most perfect example of productive procrastination I have ever heard. You built an entire administrative empire for yourself, but you forgot to keep the lights on.
It is so embarrassing. And the worst part is, I felt exhausted. I felt like I had worked a 10-hour shift. But it was just fake work. I always get sidetracked by shiny objects and complicated systems instead of just doing the actual work.
Tell us in the comments if you're also guilty of this. If you have a pile of beautiful, empty notebooks sitting on your desk right now, leave a like on this video. Because I know Bryan is not the only person who buys stationery instead of doing real work.
I know I am not alone. I see people on the internet all the time showing off their complicated digital calendars and color-coded schedules. We are all just pretending. But why do we do it? Why did drawing a green square in my financial planner feel better than actually clicking the button to pay the bill?
Because real work is boring. It is exactly as you said. It is fake work versus real work. Fake work gives you immediate dopamine. When you highlight a word in yellow, your brain says, "Wow, look at us. We are so organized. We achieved something." But real work, like calling the dentist, paying a late bill, or doing your taxes, does not feel good. It is just stressful, so you avoid it.
That makes so much sense. I created the illusion of being busy to protect myself from the anxiety of the real tasks. If I am busy organizing pens, no one can accuse me of being lazy, not even myself.
Exactly. But eventually, you just have to bite the bullet and do the boring thing. If you don't, the electricity gets turned off.
Have you ever fallen into this trap? Because you seem so immune to the stationery addiction, you always seem to just do what needs to be done without buying 15 gel pens first.
Oh, I am definitely not immune. I used to do the exact same thing. A few years ago, I bought a massive white board for my office wall. I bought special tape to create a permanent grid on it. I had magnetic markers. I thought this board was going to change my entire personality.
I love a good whiteboard. So what happened?
I used it perfectly for 2 days. On the third day, I was too tired to update it. By the end of the week, the tasks written on the board were completely irrelevant, but I left them there. And for 6 months, that giant whiteboard just hung on my wall like a monument to my failure. Every time I looked at it, I felt guilty. It was just screaming at me.
That is the danger of the permanent system. It judges you. My planners are sitting on my desk right now judging me. So how did you fix it? How do you actually get things done now?
I went in the complete opposite direction. I use a torn piece of scrap paper, just whatever garbage paper I can find on my desk, and a totally standard, boring blue pen.
No color coding? No special sections for mental health and hydration?
Nothing. Every morning, I take my ugly little piece of paper and I write down a maximum of 3 things. Just 3. And they have to be the real work, the ugly work. For example, call the insurance company, send that difficult email to a client, and pay the water bill. That is it.
Only 3 things? But what about all the other things you have to do? Don't you feel like you are ignoring the rest of your life?
If I finish the 3 things, then I can do other things if I want to. But usually, doing 3 difficult tasks is enough for one day. And here is the most important part of my system. At the end of the day, whether I finished all 3 tasks or only 2 of them, I take that piece of paper, I crumble it into a ball, and I throw it in the trash.
Wait. You don't copy the unfinished tasks to the next day's list?
No, I refuse to carry yesterday's guilt into today. If I didn't finish it, I wipe the slate clean. The next morning, I take a new ugly piece of paper, and I decide what is important for that specific day.
That is actually incredibly freeing. You wipe the slate clean every single night. You don't have a beautiful notebook reminding you of everything you failed to do on Tuesday.
Exactly. The problem with those beautiful planners is that they become historical records of your procrastination. When you use scrap paper, there is no pressure. It doesn't matter if your handwriting is messy. It doesn't matter if you spill coffee on it. The focus is entirely on the action, not the aesthetic.
That is so practical. It hurts my soul a little bit because I really love my new pens, but I know you are right. We spend so much energy trying to build the perfect runway, but we never actually fly the plane.
That is a great way to put it. We want the feeling of accomplishment without the discomfort of effort. It takes 1 minute to pay an electricity bill, but it takes 3 hours to design a system to track your bills. We choose the 3 hours because it feels like a game.
It really does. It is like playing a video game where you just decorate your house instead of actually going on the adventure. Which I also do, by the way.
I am not surprised at all. If you're listening and you want to practice your English right now, leave a comment and tell us what your fake work is. When you are avoiding something important, what is the useless task you suddenly decide you need to do? Do you clean your entire kitchen? Do you organize your digital photos from 5 years ago? Let us know.
Oh, organizing old photos is a classic move. Suddenly you absolutely must sort your vacation pictures from 2018. It is amazing how creative the human brain gets when it is trying to avoid responsibility.
It really is. And looking back at our conversation today, we naturally used some really excellent English phrases that describe this exact feeling of avoiding work and getting distracted.
We definitely did. These are phrases that you will hear all the time in an office environment or just when talking to friends about life. Like earlier, I was talking about ignoring my electricity bill, and I said I put off paying it.
Yes, to put something off. This is a very common phrasal verb. It means to delay doing something until a later time, usually because you do not want to do it. You can put off a meeting, you can put off doing your laundry, or you can put off going to the doctor.
Exactly. I put off the bill because I was distracted by my new stationery. I said I always get sidetracked by shiny objects.
To get sidetracked. This is a great visual phrase. Imagine you are walking on a path towards a destination, but you see something interesting in the forest, so you leave the path. You got sidetracked. It means to be distracted from your main goal by something less important.
And when I got sidetracked by the planners, I didn't just spend a few minutes on them. I said I completely went down a rabbit hole organizing my pens.
To go down a rabbit hole. This comes from the story of Alice in Wonderland, where she falls down a deep hole into a strange world. In conversation, it means you become so interested in a complicated or fascinating subject that you spend hours focusing on it, and you completely lose track of time. You usually go down a rabbit hole on the internet, like watching videos about how to make bread at 3 in the morning.
I have definitely gone down a bread-making rabbit hole. But eventually, as you pointed out, you cannot avoid reality forever. You said that eventually you just have to bite the bullet and do the boring thing.
To bite the bullet. This is a very strong idiom. It means to force yourself to do something difficult, unpleasant, or scary, and to just get it over with. You stop delaying, you stop complaining, you just bite the bullet and do the hard work.
Like making that phone call you have been avoiding for a week, you just bite the bullet and dial the number. And finally, you shared your amazing strategy with the scrap paper. You said that at the end of the day, you throw the list away and wipe the slate clean.
To wipe the slate clean. A slate is an old type of small chalkboard. If you wipe it clean, you erase all the old mistakes and start fresh. In life, to wipe the slate clean means to forget about past failures or unfinished tasks and start again with a completely fresh, positive attitude.
I love that phrase. It feels very forgiving. You forgive yourself for yesterday, and you try again today. I think I am going to try your method tomorrow, Jessica. I am going to put my 4 planners in a drawer, find an ugly piece of paper, and just write down 3 things.
I am very proud of you, Bryan. Just make sure one of those 3 things is actually paying your electricity bill, please.
I will write it at the very top of the list in boring black ink. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of the Understandable English Podcast. We really hope you enjoyed this conversation and learned some useful vocabulary to describe your own procrastination.
We always appreciate you spending time with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Have a wonderful, productive week. And remember, it is okay to just do the boring work. Goodbye, everyone.
See you next time, guys. Yesterday, I realized I need to bite the bullet and finally clean my garage, but I immediately got sidetracked by an old box of magazines, went down a rabbit hole reading articles from 10 years ago, and decided to put off the cleaning until next weekend so I could just wipe the slate clean.
I am never asking you to help me move furniture.